Hey guys, so this is baseline test number 1 of 3. Now those of you that have done baseline tests before, you'll know that we maybe do 2 different versions. This year we're doing it slightly different and we're doing 3. The reason for that is that we want to focus on 3 different ways of drawing and we want to see where your individual skills lie. So some of you will be really good at this baseline, some of you will be really good at the second baseline, and then some of you will be really good at the third baseline. And then if you're not good at any of them, it's our job as teachers, or if you're good at one particular area, it's our job as your art teachers to know that so that we can help you and support you the best way that we can individually, not just as a class, because we all know that you have skills in different areas. We're not all just identical and we're not all able to do the exact same things. So that's why we're doing 3 baselines this year. It is really important that you do this baseline first, because it's number 1, obviously. But this one is the one that some of you might find a bit tricky. You might be quite low in confidence after lockdown especially, and you will just have to persevere and just give us everything that you've got. If it's not the best thing in the world, we're absolutely fine with that. We just want 100% effort, please, okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do is you should have got in your wallet from your teacher, you should have got this booklet that we made for you. And if you flip to, not the second, but the third page, you will come to an image of this lady here. Now, lots of you will recognise her. You will have drawn her before in previous baselines. And if you've not, then, hi, welcome. What I want you to do is I want you to turn to a nice clean page in your sketchbook that you were also given. You should have been given 2 pencils and also a rubber, okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do is on the top of the page, nice and neatly, hopefully you've got a ruler to hand, I would like you to write baseline number, or no, with a dot, 1. And then underline it for me, please. That's just so that we can see when we look at your sketchbooks which baseline it is that you were doing. Now, if I was you and this was a brand new sketchbook, I'd probably leave the very first page empty and go on to the page behind it. If you've already started on the first page, don't stress. It's really not the end of the world. It's just that we can use this very first page of your sketchbook for some decorative or something about you or something personal. So maybe the second page, go on to there, okay? Now, as I said, this baseline, it's called an observational drawing baseline. And for those of you that aren't sure what the word observational means, it just means to observe. And to observe means to look at. So you are going to draw this image here just by looking at it. Okay? So you're going to look backwards and forwards, and you're going to try and copy this image onto this piece of paper here. Now, common mistakes that I see, I'm not going to show you how to do this because you've just got to do what you can naturally. That's why it's a baseline test. But a couple of things that I see error-wise is sometimes I see that students have like a tiny little miniature head, little piddly head in the middle of the page here. We don't want tiny little heads. Sometimes the shape of the head becomes a little bit of a problem. We end up with some potato heads and different things like that. Try and stay clear of those. If you are struggling with the shape of the actual face, please don't stress. Maybe start on a smaller area and maybe just focus on something like an eye to start off with and then work out from there. Your skill might not be drawing the outline of the face. It might be somewhere else. So don't stress. If there's a bit that you can't do, just move on to a different bit and try that. Okay? Now, my other little tip for you, which is sneaky because I shouldn't be giving you any tips at all, but my other little tip for you is when I'm drawing observationally, which, might I add, this is Mrs. MacDonald, by the way, head of art, I'm not the best at observational drawing. It's not where my skills lie. Now, because of that, I have to pay extra close attention. So for me, personally, I like to get quite close to the piece of paper. I like to see it close up, but also I use my finger to track what I'm drawing, and I make sure that my eyes are literally going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards the whole time that I'm drawing. It's very, very rare that somebody will be able to look at that image once or twice and then just copy it without looking at it again. You should be moving backwards and forwards between the two, okay? You will make mistakes. You will have to rub bits out. It's entirely up to you how you do it. If you want to go in heavy-handed and just get all that shade and detail and tone and stuff in straight away, or if you want to sketch it out nice and lightly and then add detail afterwards. It's entirely up to you. There is no right or wrong answer here. There is no right or wrong outcome here, okay? Unless you draw a dog or like a chicken or something like that, in which case that is wrong because clearly we're drawing this woman here, okay? As I said, we literally just want 100% effort off you, nothing else. Do not stress. Please don't keep starting over and starting over and starting over. And bear in mind, the only people that are going to see this and use it is you and your class teacher. And it's for the best reason ever. It is literally so we can make sure that you are an incredible artist by the time you leave us. Okay? I hope you're all doing well and you're staying safe. Peace out.